The story begins with many young boys being enslaved by the Turkish Empire, where they are forced to serve in the Sultan's elite Janissary Corps. Among these boys was Vlad, a prince from Transylvania, who became the most formidable warrior, earning the grim moniker, the Impaler, son of the dragon, for his ruthless execution of thousands. Over time, the weight of his brutal deeds began to burden Vlad's conscience. Haunted by the bloodshed, he renounced his violent past and returned to Transylvania, hoping to rule his land in peace and bring a new era of tranquility to his people. One day, while patrolling the forest, Vlad and his soldiers discover a Turkish helmet drifting in a stream. Alarmed, they suspect that a Turkish scouting party might be preparing the way for an invasion. Following the stream, they are led to a high mountain cave. Inside, they find the ground littered with crushed bones, a grim sign of previous violence. Suddenly, they are ambushed by a mysterious, unseen creature in the darkness. As his men fall victim to the deadly attack, Vlad narrowly escapes, fleeing into the safety of the sunlight where the creature does not follow. Upon returning to his castle, Vlad seeks answers from a local monk. The monk reveals that the creature is a vampire, once a man who, in a bid for unparalleled power, made a pact with a demon and was cursed with eternal darkness and insatiable thirst. The next day, as Vlad celebrates Easter with his wife Mirena, his son Ingaras, and his subjects, an unexpected Turkish contingent arrives at the castle. Vlad, caught off guard, offers them the customary tribute of silver coins. However, tensions rise when the Turkish emissary accuses Vlad of having killed a battalion of Turkish scouts who had gone missing. The emissary demands an additional tribute of 1,000 boys for the Sultan's Janissaries. Knowing his small army is no match for the Turks, Vlad desperately seeks a peaceful resolution. He bravely approaches the Turkish Sultan, Mehmed the Conqueror, offering himself in place of the boys as a gesture of sacrifice. To Vlad's dismay, the Sultan coldly refuses and demands Vlad's son, Ingaras, as part of the tribute. Desperate to protect his family and people, Vlad returns to the vampire's cave seeking aid. The ancient vampire offers him a dark bargain. To temporarily gain the powers of a vampire, Vlad must drink the vampire's blood. If he can resist the overwhelming thirst for human blood for 3 days, he will revert to being human. However, if he succumbs to the urge, he will be cursed to remain a vampire forever and be bound to serve the vampire who turned him. Despite the risks, Vlad accepts the deal and drinks the vampire's blood, embracing the supernatural strength and abilities it grants him.
What now?
Now, you die.
Upon awakening in the forest, Vlad discovers he has been bestowed with heightened senses, increased strength, and the uncanny ability to transform into a swarm of bats. However, he quickly realizes that direct sunlight burns his skin. Returning to Castle Dracula, Vlad finds his fortress under siege by the Turkish army. Using his newfound vampiric powers, Vlad single-handedly decimates the invaders. In a bid to protect his people from further bloodshed, Vlad orders most of the castle's subjects to seek refuge at Kozia Monastery, perched on the edge of a mountain. During the journey, Mirena learns of Vlad's curse, but steadfastly supports him, believing that once the Turks are defeated, Vlad will regain his mortality, and their family can be reunited in peace. As Vlad and his people near the safety of the monastery, a gypsy named Shkelgim, aware of Vlad's vampiric nature, offers himself as a servant and even his own blood, which Vlad resists. Along the journey, Turkish soldiers ambush them, but Vlad and his men manage to fend them off, showcasing Vlad's newfound strength, which raises suspicion among his subjects. Upon reaching the monastery, tensions escalate when a monk discovers Vlad's curse and incites the Transylvanians against him. They trap Vlad in a burning building, intending to destroy him. However, as black smoke from the fire blocks out the sunlight, Vlad taps into his anger and reveals his true motivations. He became a vampire solely to shield his people from the Turks. With renewed determination and enhanced powers, he breaks free from the inferno, confronting those who sought to betray him. Mirena steps in, calming the crowd and explaining that Vlad's transformation was a desperate act to protect them. Her words pacify the people, and Vlad then urges everyone to prepare for the looming war against the Turks. United, they begin fortifying their defenses, ready to defend their homeland. That night, the Turkish army attacks the monastery. Vlad commands a massive swarm of bats to fend them off. But this force is a diversion. Meanwhile, a smaller group of Turks infiltrates the monastery and kidnaps Ingaras. Mirena tries to protect their son but falls from the monastery wall. As she lies dying, she begs Vlad to drink her blood before sunrise to gain the strength needed to save Ingaras. Vlad reluctantly does so, completing his transformation into a full vampire with enhanced powers. Returning to the monastery, he turns a few survivors into vampires. With his new vampire army, Vlad assaults the Turkish camp, where Mehmed prepares to invade Europe.
I used to think there were too many of you. Now there's not enough.
Vlad's vampires slaughter the soldiers, and he confronts Mehmed, who holds Ingaras captive. Aware of the vampire's weakness to silver, Mehmed lines his tent floor with silver coins and wields a silver sword. During their battle, Mehmed gains the upper hand and attempts to impale Vlad's heart with a wooden stake. However, Vlad evades him by transforming into a swarm of bats. Embracing his new identity as Dracula, son of the devil, Vlad kills Mehmed and drinks his blood. As Dracula and Ingaras leave Mehmed's tent, they are confronted by the other vampires, who demand that Ingaras be killed because he is human. The monk who had once turned the Transylvanians against Vlad now intervenes, using a Christian cross to keep the vampires at bay. Dracula orders the monk to take Ingaras to safety, then uses his powers to clear the black clouds, letting sunlight stream through. The sunlight burns the vampires to dust, and Dracula himself collapses into a charred corpse. With Europe saved, Ingaras is crowned the new Prince of Transylvania, and Vlad is presumed dead. However, Skelgum secretly revives Dracula by feeding him his blood, saving him from death. In the present day, Vlad, now living as Dracula, encounters a woman named Mina on the streets of a modern city. She bears a striking resemblance to his lost love, Mirena. They engage in a conversation about a shared line of poetry, hinting at a deep connection. From a distance, the ancient vampire who once cursed Vlad watches the interaction with a knowing smile. Anticipating future events, he ominously declares, "Let the games begin."